You know what's crazy? Most traders using NinjaTrader, Thinkorswim, MetaTrader, or TradeStation think chart lag is a platform problem. They blame the broker, they blame the data feed, or the market itself. But most of the time, the real problem is the computer that's running the platform. And the worst part is when it shows up during market volatility, right when speed actually matters. You're watching price move quickly and candles start printing fast. Then suddenly your chart feels like it's trying to catch up. Your price has already moved, but then the candle appears a moment later, and that delay might only be a fraction of a second. But in fast markets, fractions of a second matter, and that small latency can turn a clean entry into chasing the trade. It can make you think the price is somewhere it already left. And that's when traders start blaming the platform. But chart lag almost always has a technical cause. Most traders simply never diagnose it. The first cause is something called CPU rendering queues. Every time new market data arrives, your platform has to process it. It updates price data, it recalculates your indicators like the RSI, the MACD, and the Bollinger Bands, and it redraws the charts. All of that work is happening in the background before you ever see the update, and it has to happen extremely fast. Here's the key that most traders don't realize. Most trading platforms hammer one of your processor cores extremely hard. Not 10 cores extremely hard or 20 cores. Usually there is only one that is doing most of the work. So when volatility increases, whether it's a VIX spike or a sudden market news, that core suddenly gets hammered, it gets overwhelmed. Now the computer starts building a processing queue. Think of it like a toll booth on the highway. Normally traffic flows smoothly through the toll booth, but then what if suddenly 200 cars show up at once? Now there's a line forming behind the booth. Your chart is basically sitting in that line waiting its turn. And if you've ever watched your charts fall behind during volatility, there's a good chance that your Intel Core i9 or your AMD Ryzen processor is hitting a performance limit. And the frustrating part is most traders don't realize it until the market is moving fast. And that's exactly why I built a free trading computer benchmark test specifically for traders. It measures the type of CPU performance that trading platforms rely on when markets get busy. And you can run it in just a few minutes and see if your system actually has enough performance headroom. Because if your CPU is already maxed out, chart delay or latency during volatility is almost guaranteed. And I put a link in the description below this video so you can test your system. But just wait till after the video. Most traders are really surprised when they see their score, and it's a quick way to find out if the computer you're using right now might be the real bottleneck. Now here is the issue. While your chart waits in that processing line, the market keeps moving. And by the time the chart redraws, price has already moved again. And that's why the chart appears to fall behind the market. The data itself is usually fine. The computer is just trying to keep up. The second cause of chart delay and lag is graphics rendering load. Every time your chart updates, the system redraws the entire chart window. Candles, indicators, trend lines, and labels all get repainted. And that process relies heavily on your GPU and the graphics card system, and it can become a bottleneck. And this gets worse when traders run multiple monitors. 4, 6, sometimes 8 screens are very common setups. Each monitor increases the graphics workload significantly. Now the computer is constantly redrawing multiple charts across your NVIDIA GPU or your AMD graphics setup. Eventually, the system starts falling behind. It's like asking a painter to repaint your house every few seconds while you're still knocking down walls and adding new windows. Eventually, the painter can't keep up with all the changes. And that's exactly what happens to your charts during volatility. The graphics system is constantly trying to redraw the screen, and eventually it falls behind. The third cause shows up specifically during fast markets: data bursts. During calm markets, data arrives steadily and predictably. But during market volatility, hundreds of updates can arrive instantly. Your platform has to process every single one of them. And again, most of that work hits a single CPU core, so the workload suddenly spikes dramatically. It's like trying to drink water from a fire hose. The system tries to process everything at once. Eventually it falls behind. And this is why traders sometimes say their platform feels slow today. But the platform itself didn't actually change. The market conditions changed. and those conditions expose the limits of your computer. Volatility simply revealed the bottleneck. Think of it like driving a 4-cylinder car up a steep mountain. On flat roads, everything feels perfectly fine, but once the hill starts, the engine begins to struggle. Volatility is that hill for trading computers. Chart lag is often the very first sign. So what should traders actually do about this problem? First, check your CPU performance of your system. Trading platforms rely heavily on single core processing speed. If that core can't keep up, charts will fall behind, even if the rest of the computer looks powerful. Second, be careful with large multi-monitor setups. Multiple monitors are great for productivity, but each one increases the graphics workload, and at some point, you're simply overwhelming the system, and your charts start falling behind. Third, pay attention to how many charts and indicators you run. Every indicator recalculates every time new data arrives. More charts and more indicators means more processing work. That additional workload stacks up during volatility, and that's when that lag becomes visible. The bottom line is that chart lag is rarely random. It's almost always a performance bottleneck somewhere in the system. Most traders assume the broker or the platform is slow. Meanwhile, the real problem is sitting right on their desk, and they never realize it. If you haven't run the benchmark score test yet, go check your score after this video. It's the fastest way to see whether your computer actually has enough performance for modern trading platforms. Again, that link is in the description. If you're not sure what hardware actually matters for trading, I've also put together a complete guide to trading computers. It explains the CPUs, the RAM, the monitors, and the system setups that serious traders use to avoid performance bottlenecks. Most traders are really surprised how different a real trading computer is from a normal PC or a laptop, especially if you bought it at a big box store. You can grab that free guide below and use it as a checklist to see whether your current system is actually built for trading. Because when volatility hits, the last thing you want is your computer trying to play catch up. And if your charts are lagging during fast markets, your system may already be telling you something. Now, if you really want to see what is the absolute optimal computer for trading, check out this video next. My name is Eddie Z. Thanks for watching, and as I always say, may the trend be with you.